Students, this is Botany PSR. Today, I am going to explain what is pleiotropy and explanation of concept of dominance. Right, one by one we will discuss. What is pleiotropy? Generally, one gene expresses one character. One gene expresses one character. Sometimes a gene expresses more than one character. That means two characters or three characters or many characters. If a gene influences more than one character, it is called pleiotropy. What I said? Generally, a gene expresses, a gene influences one character. That is not pleiotropy. Pleo means many. That means sometimes some genes may express more than one character, that is many characters. Many characters means multiple phenotypes. If a gene influences more than one character is called pleiotropy. See, single gene influences more than one character. One gene expresses more than one character. One character means that is one phenotype. More than one character means more than one phenotype. Many phenotypes called multiple phenotypes. Many means multiple, right? Single gene influences multiple phenotype. That is called pleiotropy. Next, in other words, more than one phenotype is influenced by same gene. So, generally a gene is represented by a pair of alleles. Those two alleles will be on a pair of homologous chromosomes. That gene generally expresses single character. If a gene expresses more than one character is called pleiotropy. That means a single gene influences more than one character or multiple phenotype is called pleiotropy. Right. It will be discussed by giving an example. See, this is capital B, capital B. This is pleiotropy can be noticed in pea seeds, Pisum sativum. Right, capital B, a pair of alleles. So, if capital B is there, that type of gene produces large starch grains. Large starch grains are produced. Why? Because this gene is very much active, that is very effectively. Starch is synthesized effectively because of the presence of this capital B gene. See, capital B gene is there means large starch grains are produced in pea seeds because starch is synthesized effectively. What is the shape of seed? Shape of seeds is round. Large starch grains are synthesized and the shape of seed is round. Right. Another gene, small b. If this type of gene is there means small size starch grains are produced and the shape of seed is wrinkled. Shape of seed is wrinkled. So, small b, if this gene is present, what type of starch grains are synthesized? Small size starch grains are synthesized. Why? Because starch synthesis is lesser efficiency, less active. That's why small size starch grains are synthesized. What is the shape of seed? Wrinkled. Right. Capital B means large starch grains, round seeds. Small b means small size starch grains and wrinkle seeds. Right. If these two plants are crossed with each other, F1 hybrid is this one. This one is nothing but a F1 hybrid. Okay. Capital B is crossed with small b, obtain F1 hybrid is capital B, small b. Then intermediate size starch grains are produced. What type of starch grains? Intermediate starch grains are synthesized. That means not large, not small, medium. Intermediate size starch grains are produced. But the seeds are round. Seeds are round. So, round capital B crossed with small b, round seeds are obtained. Round obtained in F1 generation means that is nothing but a complete dominance. But the size of starch grains is intermediate. Intermediate means in between the two. In between the two means that is incomplete dominance based on the size. Based on the size, it is not large, it is not small. In between the two, no? F1 is in between the two. That is intermediate size starch grains are obtained. So, seeds are round. Based on the shape of seed, it is an example for complete dominance. Based on size of seed, it is an example for incomplete dominance. Right. Let us explain with a diagram in detail. See, this is capital B. Large starch grains are produced. Small b means small starch grains are produced. Why here large starch grains are produced? Starch synthesis is more effectively. Here starch synthesis is lesser efficiency. Right, when these two plants are crossed with each other, F1 hybrid is obtained. This one is called F1 hybrid. This is so called heterozygote. Don't say homozygote. This is homozygote, this is homozygote, this is heterozygote. See, when these two are crossed with each other, what type of shape is obtained? Round is obtained. Based on the size, what size obtained? Intermediate size or medium size starch grains are obtained. See, capital B, small b, shape is round. Capital B, small b size is intermediate size starch grains. Intermediate means in between. Right. Round wrinkled cross with each other. Round obtained means it is an example for complete dominance. And when large is crossed with a small, intermediate is obtained, no? That's why in between the two means it is an example for incomplete dominance. This is important here. So that means a single gene influences more than one character. Here, one character means that is large or small. Here another character is expressed, that is intermediate size. So if a gene influences more than one character is called pleiotropy. What are the example? Pea seeds. What are the example? Pea seeds. Right. So by this what we have to know? Dominance is not an autonomous feature. Dominance is not an autonomous feature of a gene. Autonomous means self. It is not a self-characteristic feature of a gene. Dominance is not a autonomous feature of a gene. What is the reason for that? Because one allele may be expressed in phenotype in all cases. One allele, that means capital B is there. Capital B, small b, capital B is there. That means one allele may be expressed in phenotype in all cases. So that's why dominance is not an autonomous feature of a gene. or the product that has the product that it has information for. That means it has produced large starch grains, intermediate starch grains. So, or the product that it has information for. So, what is pleiotropy? If a gene influences more than one character, more than one phenotype or multiple phenotype is called pleiotropy. Pleiotropy can be found in example pea seeds, right? Capital B expresses what type of starch grains? Large starch grains. Small b expresses small starch grains. But capital B, large starch grains and round. Small b expresses small starch grains and wrinkled seeds. These two are crossed with each other. F1 hybrid is obtained, which is a heterozygote. And shape of the seed is round. Size is intermediate size. So based on the shape, it is an example for complete dominance. Based on the size, it is an example for incomplete dominance. Those points you have to remember. So pleiotropy means that is based on the size of starch grain. Size of starch grain. That is large starch grains, small starch grains, intermediate size starch grains are produced. More than one character is obtained, no? That's why a single gene influences multiple phenotypes is called pleiotropy. Next concept. Explanation of concept of dominance. Explanation of concept of dominance. Why some alleles are dominant and why some alleles are recessive. That means a gene, it has information to express itself. Why some alleles dominant and some alleles recessive? Why? Because every gene contains the transformation to express a particular trait. That means generally a gene has information to express a particular character. Whatever the character it may be. One gene express one character, another gene express another character. That means a gene that has a particular character to express by itself. A gene expressed by itself a particular trait or character. So the character that is expressed in F1 generation is called dominant character. The character that is not expressed in F1 generation is called recessive character. Right. In a diploid organism, there are two copies of each gene as a pair of alleles. So that is, human beings, we are diploid organisms. That means 2n is equal to, we contain 2n is equal to 46 chromosomes. 46 chromosomes means that is, a gene is represented by how many alleles? A pair of alleles. Right. If two alleles are identical, it is called homozygote and the condition is called homozygous. Examples, capital T. Another one, small t. Next one, if two alleles are not identical, means it is called heterozygote. Heterozygote means example, capital B, capital T, small t. One question I am going to ask, homozygote produces number of kinds of gametes? 1. Number of kinds of gametes produced by heterozygote? 2. Heterozygote, this heterozygote will produce number of kinds of gametes? 2. Capital T, 1 gamete, small t, 1 gamete. Number of kinds of gametes produced by homozygote? Only 1 kind. Right. Next, now I am going to explain one gene is able to express one character, okay. That one character means this gene is able to synthesize an enzyme. By taking that example, we will explain. Okay, right. Example of a gene contains the information for producing enzyme. That means a gene is there that is able to produce an enzyme. By taking that example, I am going to explain. A gene that is able to produce enzyme, how the dominant allele will express, how the recessive allele will express. Okay? Right. Normal allele produces. Normal allele is also called unmodified allele. Normal allele produces normal enzyme. Okay. Normal allele means capital T. Let us suppose capital T. That capital T is able to produce normal enzyme. Right. Why these enzymes are required? To convert the substrates into products. Enzymes are required to convert substrate into products. So that is nothing but specific enzyme is there for specific substrate. That is so called enzyme specificity. Some substrates are converted into products by specific enzyme, not same enzyme. All the substrates will be converted into products by same enzyme? No. Some substrates are converted into products by one particular enzyme. Some other substrates are converted into products by some particular enzymes. So that is so called enzyme specificity. Right. Normal allele produces normal enzyme. Okay. That is nothing but unmodified allele. Modified allele produces. Modified allele means, let us suppose small t. It is able to produce normal enzyme or less efficient enzyme or non-functional enzyme. Non-functional is nothing but functionless enzyme. And the third case, no enzyme at all. So that is modified allele is able to produce normal enzyme or less efficient enzyme, non-functional enzyme, enzymeless, that is no enzyme. So by seeing these characters, what we have to understood? Unmodified allele produces normal enzyme. Modified allele is able to produce these three characters. That means here is normal enzyme, here is normal enzyme. So what we have to understand? That means normal enzyme is produced by both unmodified allele and modified allele. So that is in the production of normal enzyme. That is, this is the first case, this is the second case, this is the third case. So in the production of normal enzyme, that is in the first case, unmodified allele is equivalent to modified allele. See, in the production of normal enzyme, this unmodified allele is equivalent to modified allele. In the production of normal enzyme, that is in the first case, modified allele is equivalent to unmodified allele. That means unmodified allele is able to synthesize enzyme, modified allele is able to synthesize normal enzyme. In these two cases, both unmodified allele and modified alleles are equal. Right. Production of normal enzyme can be done by, what we have to say? Both dominant allele and recessive allele. Isn't it? Right. Next one. Unmodified allele represents original phenotype. Which one represents original phenotype? That is unmodified allele. That is also called normal allele or functioning allele. It is unmodified allele is nothing but dominant allele. Dominant allele. Next one. Modified allele is considered as the recessive allele. Modified allele is considered as recessive allele. Unmodified allele, example, let us suppose capital T. Modified allele, let us suppose small t. So that is unmodified allele is the dominant allele, modified allele is considered to be the recessive allele. So these points you have to remember. Unmodified allele or normal allele is the dominant allele and modified allele is the recessive allele. Unmodified allele is, let us suppose capital T. Capital T is nothing but dominant allele. Modified allele is nothing but small t. Small t is nothing but recessive allele. These 2 points you have to remember. So, here concept of dominance means some alleles may be dominant, some alleles may be recessive. Why that type of means? Let us suppose by taking the example, one gene is able to synthesize enzyme. That means it depends upon the alleles. Dominant allele, that is unmodified allele is able to produce, unmodified allele is able to produce normal enzyme. That is capital T. Modified allele, that is small t, is able to produce 3 characteristics. Normal enzyme or less efficient enzyme, non-functional enzyme or no enzyme at all. So that means in the first case, both unmodified allele and modified alleles are equivalent. So what the points we have to remember? Unmodified allele is dominant allele, modified allele is recessive allele. So please note down all these points, my dear students. If you note down means that will be more easy to you. Please note down all the points in your notebook. Okay, thank you very much and we will meet in the next class.